What's up, guys? Today we're talking about 4 iconic staples in the EDC world. Let's do it. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, I really appreciate the support. Love making these videos for you guys. Love that you're watching them. All of the above. It's great. Let's jump in. So, these are 4 knives that I think are sort of iconic in the EDC world. Feel free to disagree or, let me know if there's some more in the comments. Obviously, I am limited in what I have in my own collection, but I've seen a great deal of things about these knives that sort of point towards that status as sort of an iconic knife. Let's just jump right into it. All sort of similarly sized, around that 3.5, 3.6 inch blade length, similar handle size. This is kind of a sweet spot for me. I really like that 3.5-ish size blade. To me, it feels like it's ready to go to work. Really fills the hand well. It's not something overly huge where it's going to scare a lot of people. It kind of feels a really good niche. Let's jump right into it. I think the first here that I'm going to talk about, there really can be no argument. The PM2 is just one of those just very famous, very well-known, well-loved models. And the fact that there's just so many different kinds of these is sort of a testament to the fact that it's just highly sought after and well-loved, like I said. I can't even count how many, well, I could count them if they were in front of me, but I cannot remember off the top of my head how many variants of this guy there are now. There's a lot of exclusive sprint runs, even new production models. It's just one of those knives that it's so workable and usable, and the cutting performance is really, really good because of this flat grind. You can find it in pretty much any steel you want, except for the new Super Steels, Van Axe, Magna Cut, stuff like that. But that might be coming. If we yell loud enough, it's going to be on the way. But anyways, most of the contemporary steels you can get this guy in. All kinds of different handle colors. It just fills the hand great. Excellent blade. I don't know. A lot of good things about the PM2. And it's one of those iconic models that I think if you're able to, get one and see what it's all about for yourself if you haven't already. Not a bad price either. These are well priced, I think. Actually, the cheapest of all of these is the PM2, depending again on what orientation you get. These are going to run you about $160, $170-ish dollars. Whereas it could go up from there if you get, special kind or if you add new scales or whatever. Anyways, moving on. Microtech Ultratech. This is the Tanto apocalyptic finish with the distressed red handles. This is another one of those iconic blades. It's, again, in that same size range, and Microtech is just a really great company, and they make these really excellent, durable OTFs. To me, I haven't held another OTF that feels the same as far as quality and just overall action. And I think a lot of people would probably agree. Not everyone, obviously, because there's all kinds of different options, but this is kind of the one that stands out to me as sort of an iconic sort of, bread and butter of the OTF world is the Microtech Ultratech. And there's, again, so many different variants of this, just so many different handle colors and even some different materials. They have like the one with the JG10 top, which is really cool. Most of the blades are going to be in your 204P or M390 sort of steel, which is really good. It would be cool if they did venture out into some like tougher stuff like crew wear maybe, but I don't know how their production process goes, but they do a really, really good job with these. These are also just ready to go to work. And Microtech is one of those companies that I hear and I think quality immediately. Really, really good. American made. All of these are made in the US. I love this thing as well. These do run a little more expensive, closer to 300. So, not quite as accessible. And the only reason I have this one is because I got it as a gift. I don't know that I would have spent that much on it to begin with. Although I would have eventually, because I know my buddy has one of these and I loved it, so it was going to happen regardless. But, money's always a thing. Next up, the Benchmade 940. Another one of these, just, you can't really argue with this. Same as the PM2. It's just one of those Benchmade. One of those that just, you see it and you think, yeah, that's a staple in the EDC world. Warren Osborne, obviously a huge figure. He was amazing, excellent knife designer. Designed this guy, obviously, and the newer successor, the 940, the Mini 940, the 945, is also a really good iteration of this guy. This is another one of those knives that just fits really well in your hand. It's a very lightweight knife. Not even has full liners. It's mostly just G10. This model, for example, the aluminum one, I don't know the weight difference, but I'm talking specifically the G10 is nice and lightweight. I think any of the variations of the 940 could be considered sort of iconic. This is the only one that I have. There's not quite as many as the PM2, but there's still a good amount now, especially now. There's been a few more new ones that have come out. S30V blade is kind of the standard. It's a robust blade. It's nice and thick. It's relatively thick behind the edge, so it's not the best slicing knife in the world, but for me, in my collection, I've noticed that this knife can handle a lot compared to some of the other ones. In terms of edge stability, it's pretty good, and I think that's because of the thickness and the relative thickness behind the edge. That reverse Tanto blade, really nice. Gives it some extra material behind the tip, so it's a little more robust there as compared to the PM2. This is another one of those that I would definitely highly suggest if you're looking to get into the quality knife world and you want a good, solid, iconic knife. 940. Very easy recommendation, same as the PM2. Not terribly expensive. This one at REI goes for close to 200, I think. I got it on sale and used dividends, so I definitely didn't pay the full price. But I think some of the, depending on where you can get them for 170, 180, and then there's other more expensive models. But not the most expensive thing in the world. Lastly here, we've got the Chris Reeve large Sebenza. Now, this spot on the list could be filled by either the large or the small. I just so happen to only have the large, so that's what we're going to use. This is one of those knives that just, I said when you hear Microtech, it speaks quality. This screams quality. And it just, I haven't really handled a knife, another knife similar to this. I would say a Hinderer is the similar sort of idea of a very, very high quality, classic knife. But man, to me, this just feels better than anything that I've felt before. You can see my actual video on this knife in particular, but it's just one of those things where if you're in a place to get one of these, or at least just handle it, you'll be able to tell. And I don't know, some people it might not be for them, and I'm still getting used to the action and the thumb stud. It's going to tear up my thumb a little bit, probably getting used to it, but it's worth it. For me, the hype was worth it. Some people will disagree, and that's totally fine. It's not going to be for everybody, but a lot of people love them, and there's a lot of reasons for it. So definitely stay tuned for a full review of this guy. This is the Micarta inlay. They do all sorts of cool inlays. They've got wood. They've got, some crazy ones have carbon fiber, and some of them have these really cool patterns on the titanium. There's just lots of cool stuff, and there's something for pretty much everyone. So there you go. Chris Reeve, large Sebenza. So that kind of concludes this sort of short list. I'm sure there's more. These are the 4 in my collection that I consider to be sort of iconic. Maybe there's another one out there that's more iconic than these. Please let me know in the comments. I'm really curious to hear other people's opinions on this. My opinion on this was formed from, seeing Instagram posts, Facebook threads, forums, whatever, people talking about these and sort of them appearing everywhere. That's how I kind of decided that I was going to make this video and put these four together. But like I said, it's my opinion, so there's always, you know, room for subjectivity, and there could be others. By all means, there's definitely got to be others. So I'll conclude this video here before it gets too long, but thanks again for tuning in. I hope this was an interesting topic. We've got a couple more videos coming down the pipeline, so please stay tuned and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks to those who have. Really appreciate the support, and we'll see you next time. All right, take care.